I need to like vent a little bit because I've been very frustrated. So I am
Yes,
building
let's
my
go.
platform like list. No. So I've been building my platform as an influencer, and Culture Fuzz is a blog that bridges the gaps to a lot of products and a lot of companies and a lot of business owners. So I get a lot of people who reach out who want me to, promote their products, promote their business, and I'm happy to work with anyone as long as it's beneficial, not beneficial, but as long as the brands align with each other. If it makes
Right.
sense, we gonna do it. But the companies that really irk me right now are the ones who approach me and they're like, do you want to be a brand ambassador for such and such a company? And I'll go and look. I'll be like, oh, your clothes are cute. I like your message. I like, oh, your jewelry is popping. Cool. What do you need from me? They're like, so we'll give you 60% off of the entire website plus like $5 for shipping. And then like anytime after that, you'll be the first one to know when our releases are. I was like, so am I a VIP customer or am I an ambassador? Like, which one are you?
That shit
So,
is so weird to me. Like, I be feeling like they be scamming.
like, that's
Like,
exactly what it is. Because it's
I
like,
hate
that's
it.
that's
It's
not an
because it's like,
ambassador.
first of all, you're literally capitalizing off people who don't know better. 'Cause if you're a
1,000, 800,000%.
brand ambassador, like, if you had to the people with 1 million followers or whatever, or a blue check, a verified account, they not having them go online and pay. You know what I mean? Like, no, you're giving them a box. You gave them a cute little brand ambassador box, but because you know what I'm saying, and it's like you're trying to capitalize off of somebody who is growing their brand, who you think doesn't know better.
That's just it. And like a lot of these influencers do not know better. So they're very green, which is fine. We all have to start somewhere. But they don't know that as an ambassador, like a company is seeking you out so they can benefit from your following that
Right.
you worked really hard for to
Right.
gain their trust, which is again fine. Like if you want to work with that brand, if it completely makes sense, then like do it. But they should be sending you that for free with every single. And I've worked with like major brands. I'm talking
Right.
about like Shiseido, Tom Ford, and I don't have thousands and thousands and thousands of followers. Like, I
But
just
let
want to
them
let y'all
know. It don't
know. Like,
matter. Who?
exactly. And that's what I want to say. Like, a lot of these agencies will have you out here thinking, like, oh, you need 10,000 followers and no one's going to look at you. That's a bold faced, straight out misconception. That is a myth. It is not true 1000%. They look at engagement, they look at the quality of your content, they look at your
Mm-hmm.
outreach. You could have 500 followers and you can still get deals. People will still want to fuck with you. So, if somebody wants to charge you, whoever's listening, whoever is working on being an influencer, you should not even be paying a dollar. Not
Mm-hmm.
one red cent. If someone is looking for you to be like, oh, can you be my ambassador? Like the other day, I had two companies. They didn't ask any type of questions. They were like, what is your address? We're going to send you our products so you can review on our social media.
Ooh, ooh.
Other companies where I've had to say no because I have a YouTube video up where I talk about a birth control company. The company fucking loved it. When I first started, they're like, oh, can we use it for marketing? I was like, yeah, sure. Let them use it for free. I didn't have any clout. Like, okay, fine. I can understand it. I began to keep an eye on it and notice that like A, this video is getting views. B,
That shit
y'all are
got
getting like it has
views
views
still.
like still relevant to this day. So that's how I know like, oh, this is actual like quality, valuable content. Got it.
Right.
They were getting so many hits from and still are getting so many fucking hits for my videos. So I guess they got like a new like marketing department or whatever the fuck because someone came to me and they're like, "Oh, we found your video online." I was like, "It's been up for like 4 years, but cool."
Right.
And they
Like,
and they're like, "We'd like to use it for our marketing campaign." So I reminded them like, "So I don't know if y'all remember, but you literally hired me last year to like curate some more videos for you guys for this price, this price, this price." And I've been keeping an eye, like letting them know I've been keeping an eye on the statistics. This is why you need to keep track of your content, what you put out there, is um who is interacting with your like content and stuff like that. Cause I was like, in bold face letters, you do not have permission to use my content as marketing unless there's a contract or mutual agreement. I forget how I worded it. It was all fancy and
good
super
for you
professional.
though. Protect your content.
1000%. And it was hard because it's like, A, I love working with them. I know that I will get even more traffic had I let them use it. But I was like, it's not about that. The principle is that I work really fucking hard at what I do. And I take a lot of pride in it. And clearly you guys loved my video, like not once, but like a handful of times. Pay me. Like, nah,
Right.
forget that. So I ended up saying, they're like, okay, fine, we'll hit you back if we ever get a program. So they hit me up a couple months later and they're like, okay, we want to hire you for 2 TikTok videos. And it's like, realign.
You got to do
Realign that
it.
shit.
And that's the thing. I think it's like they know that people are eager to get out there.
Yes.
And
oh, social media.
you have to be okay with like saying no and turning things down, because if not, that's how they get the power over you, by your eagerness and not holding on to like, no, it's cool. Like sometimes you got to go with the flow and be like, okay, if I lose out on this one, more will come. But that
Absolutely.
goes into what we were saying with speaking it into existence and having that mindset where that no may hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It may be hard as fuck, but it's about, understanding your brand and what you're building.
Yep.
Like even with the new show I'm working on, I'm not collaborating with as many people on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I know what I'm building. And I may piss some people off because they may have worked with me before and I'm not going to work with them on this one.
Mm-hmm.
But I know what I'm building.
Yep.
And I'm not here to work with everybody.
Can't. I've tried it. It's not possible.
Even when it comes with like, being brand ambassadors and stuff, it's like, yeah, you may want to be out there and the repost and all that other shit. But even when it comes to like a place where you got to buy it in order to be a brand ambassador, that means they may not even really repost you.
Exactly.
Because you're just a customer. You're like that's like that shit to me. And especially because it started kind of happening around the same time, like
especially during the pandemic, and all these copy and paste DMs, you already know.
Right. And you got to realize,
fuck.
like, when companies are sitting in their meetings and they're looking, because remember, I'm an accountant, so like I know how, like, oh, how can we boost sales? Oh, people, they like influencers. We should get some, what do they call them? Influence? Yeah. Because, they're old and they don't really know. So they got some young person. They're like, oh, or their daughter or somebody told them, like, just have influencers do it. They'll pay for it. They'll do that shit. You know what I'm saying? And you got to understand, like, look at it. Because I remember when I used to want to model. And I would meet with people who were agents and stuff. And they would plan photo shoots. But they not supplying hair, you're not supplying the outfits. Like, I gotta get all this shit.
That was like the old school scam. That's like, like when those when malls were still popular and like agents, quote unquote agents, will come up to you and be like, come to like our acting school or come to our agency, we'll get you an agent. And you show up and they're like, for $700 we'll get you like classes, auditions, and blah blah blah. And that was the old scam back in the day. It's like, nah, and like
now it's the influencer scam. Or even like I was looking at like a talent agency, because now interviews, like auditions, are virtual now. So because I follow certain pages, certain things popped up in my algorithm, my ad, and I saw like it was like an audition for a thing, and it was advertised as a virtual audition or some shit like that. So I signed up. I was like, okay, let me see what they talking about. Like, I'm like, and sure enough, it's like, well, if you pay this, it's normally $700, but for $100 now. And I'm like, oh, y'all just
sounds like a sales funnel.
But they're capitalizing off the fact that now, people have to do everything virtual. So stay woke, y'all.
Yeah, 1000%. We're here to let you know. I'm here to let you know. Like, I've even done like real brand ambassading, like pre-COVID. Like when I lived in LA, I was hired by 7 Up, Little Debbie's. Like I was that brand ambassador, like passing out like coupons and shit, and not once did I ever have to pay for uniform, costume, transportation. Like, they were quick to reimburse you. So like,
right.
when a company, it wants you to represent them as that is the sole service, that is a service that they're seeking from you. We want you to put this on and take a picture for our profile. That's a fucking service for their marketing.
Send it.
Send the check. Here's my Cash App. Here's the contract. You can do 50 now, 50 later. But it's I just hope this falls on the right ears of, like, if that's the direction that you want to go, if that's how you want to make some money. Like, there's tons of third-party platforms like Influencer and Telefluence that will link you to companies and help you get paid out. But as someone who's done dozens and dozens and dozens of campaigns and stuff like that, not once have I had to come out of pocket. You could go to my Instagram, Rissa SoFar, right now. You will see I have less than 3,000. I'm almost at 3,000, but I'm like less than 3,000, but I'm still maybe making like 100 to 200 a month off of like being an influencer.
And that's a start, because people, I think it's important you said like you're under 3,000, because people think you have to be at 10 to be influencer, and it's like, no, if they're